you know if they're gonna have the grates out? Are they gonna be replacing the grate soon?
Yeah.
Okay. Before Friday, luckily?
Yeah, but this is broke.
Yeah, those are snapped.
The hit, but
Yeah.
suppose couple broke.
Yeah.
I put new ones, I don't know.
Put some more motion stuff down, like over here?
Yeah.
Okay. So I get a text message early Monday morning stating that there is a collection of garbage and debris around the dumpster. And so that's typical, right? I expected something to happen Monday where I get some type of message that is going to require me to come out to the site and do something. That just, it is what it is. And usually Mondays are your non-emergency complaints or updates that you typically have funnel in from your tenants, from property management, whatever the case may be. And today was no different, or this Monday morning was no different, right? I get a message and it turns out somebody just threw a ton of yoga mats on the side of the dumpster, as well as there was some type of cat gymnasium or a jungle gym on the other side as well. No big deal. Get there, clean it up. I go to shut the actual gate of the dumpster enclosure, and lo and behold, the garbage company who comes and services our garbage did not push the garbage can back far enough for me to be able to close the gate. This is probably at least the 6th time that I've personally caught them doing something similar to this. And so I'm just going to go and zap another email to them and say, hey, look, can you guys properly put the garbage can back? Otherwise, you potentially are damaging my dumpster enclosure, because when people try to close the gates, this could potentially damage the gate because it bangs against this dumpster and it could dent my doors of this gate, right? Not only that, you also have an issue where if I cannot close the dumpster enclosure, then the neighbors are potentially going to get mad at me because they're seeing garbage, right? Even if the enclosure is clean, they're still looking at this massive dumpster. And with us not being able to close the doors, this creates an issue. Not only are we not able to close the gates, but now, once again, the residents are driving by this dumpster that has a ton of rubbish sitting right next to it, right? And they have to look at that until somebody comes and gets it cleaned up. But this is just yet another dumpster fire without the flames that is a little easier to have rectified. My goal is to actually catch the garbage man or woman that is going to be coming out to do the garbage this coming Wednesday, and kind of have a personal conversation with them, a one-on-one conversation, and just kind of politely ask them if they're able to better position the garbage can. I luckily ran into the repair crew the day of them planning to do the repairs of this site, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to shut water off on this building for potentially 8-9 hours, and not only is your building gonna be out of water, the entirety of this 8-block radius is gonna be out of water. And I'm like, what the hell? Here we go again, right? Where we have the city of Detroit specifically the water department, coming out here unannounced, shutting off water to my tenants for potentially 8-9 hours, and the tenants ultimately are going to blame me because I didn't notify them of this unannounced repair that the city of Detroit was doing. Life of a landlord, right? But I actually convinced DWSD to do the repairs on a separate day, so we in turn can give a heads up to our tenants, the residential and the commercial tenant, because, you know, once again, this is a scenario where you are literally capping off water, not only to my residential tenants unannounced, but this was a day that the restaurant was open for business. And so imagine not being able to service your clientele because this unannounced water repair was happening, and people have reservations. It could have been somebody's birthday, all of that good stuff, right? They came back a day after we expected them to start the repairs, which is fine, but they repaired it, but they didn't repair it. So they literally had to come back the following day and do it all over again. And unfortunately, by this time, the restaurant is back open. And now the restaurant is losing out on business because they can't service their clientele because they don't have any water. And this is, once again, an unannounced headache that me as a landlord, my tenants have to deal with. It's just an ongoing theme here, as you can see. And I'm not mad with the city of Detroit or DWSD. Don't get me wrong. Actually, I really appreciate the city of Detroit. I really appreciate DWSD for coming out and repairing this issue, because this has been an issue since we've got this property, right? There was some type of leak or water main break that we just couldn't identify ourselves because it wasn't coming from our work, our property, but yet it was causing headaches. It was causing scenarios where the streetscape was not safe in the wintertime because you had 3 inches of ice literally just piled up in certain places, and it was just an unsafe scenario. So shout out to the city of Detroit and DWSD for getting this repair done. But at the end of the day, nothing works out as you plan it to. And that's the truth for developers / landlords, as well as the city of Detroit, obviously, right? It's just certain things you just can't control. But really, really appreciate them for coming out, doing what they had to do. Now, with that said, I'm also going out here to check to see if they actually had an opportunity to start the repair process of the damage that they did to the street, because we actually have a ribbon cutting for Little Liberia coming up this week, and we want to make sure that the scene is proper, right? We want to make sure that everything is as buttoned up as possible. The mayor is coming. We're going to have, over 100 people that will be on site and really experiencing Little Liberia essentially for the first time. I don't want the front of my building looking like a construction site.